Hebrew kingdom building.
Hallelujah. Yeah. The vision have always been to awaken, restore, prepare, awaken the children of Israel to who they are, restore us back to the ancient path in the covenant of Yahusha, and then prepare for prophetic end time events. So that's where we on now. Now this will be a part two of what we talked about last time. But the anchoring would be on the invasion, and you'll understand what that means as we move forward with this. But our goal is to expose the things that are going on so we can be aware, so we can continue to have the emunah and occupy until Yahusha gets here and do the things that we're supposed to do. But we're supposed to expose the works of darkness. So this is what a lot of this series is going to be, exposing it, turning the light on so we can all see and understand what you are trying to show us. Hallelujah. All right, so let's go real quick because we got to understand this. See what Yahushua Hamashiach, our Adonai, what he spoke in Luke 21 to kind of give us a understanding of the time that we living in, because we're living in a dangerous time. It's crazy, all the things that are going on. But let's see what he spoke of.
Luke 21, starting with verse 5. And as some spake of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gifts, he said, as for these things which ye behold, the days will come in which there shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
All right, so even when you look at that, he was just showing how at that time they was able to see how the temple was formed, the goodly stones on it, but the same structure that you've seen, he said that it'll be a time that you'll know that no more, that'll be thrown down. And even helping us even understand in this day that the time that the things that we have been used to seeing, like the things happen in cycles, and the world that we have been acquainted with to understand it's finna end. Right. We finna go to a completely different age. So all what you have known, even in this world in this way, is finna be torn down and something else finna be built. But we have to keep the Ibu now because we know in the end that Yahushua is gonna reign. But you might as well put in your mind the ways and the things that you've seen and that you thought, the way of life that it's been, it's going to tremendously change. Right? Y'all got anything on that?
Yeah. Let's see if we get the other batteries. Like you say, everything that we know about reality is going to change. Yahuwah even spoke to me couple of weeks ago, and he told, and praying on the Shabbat in the evening with Yahuwah, and he told me, he said that that something very strange is coming. And he said, don't fear. He said, whatever you do, don't fear. Because there's things that's not going to be able to be explained, new breakthroughs that really ain't, they breakthroughs, but they breakthroughs from Sheol, breakthroughs of demons and fallen ruachs, things that's going to snare the world, and if we're not ready, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, because y'all know how we were talking on Shabbat. Yahuwah gave me that word when I was riding, and he was saying that we were in a war zone, and that on my way to understand that I'm a refugee. And I was like, well, refugee, and it was like a refugee is one that seeks a place of comfort in a place of distress. Okay. So like, basically like this, the assembly is basically like the embassy in a place in a foreign territory to where you can go and find your place outside of that nation. So that, it says a lot based off of everything else that y'all are saying about what's coming. You're looking at these new threats of what they're saying. You can't even speak against nations now. You know
God,
what I'm saying?
God,
For fear that they'll lock you up and you in a different nation. But if
right,
you speak of this nation, they'll shut you down. So,
God.
hallelujah.
Yeah, that's the time we're living in. So a lot of the things, like you was saying, you're gonna see structures, and that like the temple was just the well of life. It was the center of life. It's what we understood. But it said it'll be a day where you won't see a stone left upon the other stone. So it need to put in our mind that the enemy is always going to be planning his type of way that he's going to invade the earth, in which the thing to come against the things in which Yahuwah have going to establish and have already established. Right, let's keep going.
And verse 7, and they asked him, saying, Master,
Now watch what they ask him.
but when shall these things be?
When shall these things be? The tearing down of the temple. We know that did happen already.
God. And what sign will there be, will there be when these things shall come to pass?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, take heed that ye not be deceived.
He said, what now?
Take heed that ye be not deceived.
So they asking him, even in another version, they asked him also when the end of the world would be. So all of these things is going to happen. And watch how he acts. He answered the question. Yahushua said, take heed that you be not deceived.
Go ahead.
So what does that tell you? That means that in the end times, the deception would be in its highest form ever. He said that's what you have to look for. You have to understand that deception would be in such a place that the world has never seen. That things that look like they're truth, there'll be a lie. And things that look like they're a lie will actually be the truth. You understand? So we living in a time that you need the Ruach HaKodesh, you need Yahushua HaMashiach to be able to lead and guide you into all truth. We need the Ruach holding our hand, allowing us to get through all of these layers, because as we continue to go, we start to see lies upon lies upon lies upon lies, right? So one of the highest forms that he said in the end time would deception would reign supreme, and deception would be like an allure in the end times, right? Y'all got anything on that?
That's exactly what's coming. What's coming is the false allure, and if you still caught up in the world system, that's why the scripture talks about coming out from among Babylon. Because if you're in the system where you're dependent on Babylon for your safety, security, and deliverance, they're going to have something for you. They're going to have something for your eternal life. Everything that Yahuwah has done, everything that Yahuwah has spoken that he would do according to his people, there is a artificial method of accomplishing that. If we look at Revelation, when Yahuwah brings forth the locust horde, when the locust horde comes, it says that men seek death and can't find it.
Right.
So there's some type of something that happens during that time. There's some artificial life extension type thing. We see from Bereshit, from the very beginning, the idea is eternal life. A tree of life was in the midst of the garden, but because of course sin, death came into the place. So right now, it's the same thing. Even the serpent told Kawah, what? You shall be like a Lord.
Yeah.
So the idea is to bring man to a place where he could be in rebellion with Yahuwah, but also have this element of ascension to God status, or ability to have a God who can rival all the things that Yahuwah requiring him to do.
Man, that's major, because that going back to what you're saying, that they are resurrecting the concept of the tree of Thub and Ra, right? When it says that when you eat of this tree, that you will become your own God, right? Knowing Thub and evil. So everything that is being created now is being created to give you a type of God concept, right? In which you will reign and rule. And for us being in Yahushua, he says that if any man gonna come after me, he got to first do what? He got to die himself, right? He got to bow the knee, right? He can't be in no place where he think himself that he's in the Lord, right? But that's the goal of all of these things, to create quote unquote God status, to create eternal life and to to be gods themselves and reign and rule.
That's it.
Controversy.
That's it. Let's read the rest of that.
Yes, sir. I'll start over. And he said, take heed that ye not be deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them.
So what he's saying, many gonna come in the name of salvation.
God.
Now we look at that and just think just Yahushua himself, but what they're gonna come in and come in the way and say they have the way of salvation.
Right.
They have the way to receive to become immortal.
Right.
The way to give eternal life in every way. And they're gonna have a type of false anointing that's gonna come with that.
Right.
So high time of deception greater than you ever seen before, and the way of salvation. Because with this broken world and with things happening, it get to the point where man to be saying, listen, man, we don't need no allure. We don't need no religion. We don't need none of that. We the religion. We the this, and it's all going towards that place. But we got to make sure that we ain't deceived based off some man-made miracle, which they can do. Yeah, we'll get into all that as we go.
But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. But the end is not by and by.
Man, that's due. So we're going to hear of wars or invasions and different things like that. Now, let's go real quick. Let's read Psalms 83. Now, we got to realize that it don't matter what it is. Israel, you the target.
Right.
I don't care. It and it's been shown century after century. No matter what adventure they come out with, what biological warfare, weapon, AI, all of these things are coming at you.
Right.
Because you was the goal in the beginning to conquer. So now and even though they have conquered us, they continue to put their foot up on our neck, continue to try to kill us in every way, shape, or form. So best believe, if anything is coming, you the target.
Right.
So men sit behind closed doors, man, thinking of ways they can continue to govern the earth and destroy you. That's two things that's going to happen. They got to find a way to continue to have dominion over the earth and how to destroy you. Because they know as your kingdom come, their kingdom falling. All right, let's read Psalms 83. Let's look at the oppressor's mind.
Psalms 83, starting with verse 1. It says, a song or a psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O Yahuwah. Hold not thy shalom, and be not still, O Yahuwah. For lo, thine enemy make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Now watch, they done made a tumult. That mean they riding. They done made crafty counsel. That mean they sitting there thinking about greater ways to deceive you. The same way that Yahushua said in front of the beginning. Be careful that you be not what?
Deceived.
Deceived. Keep going.
And consulted against thy hidden ones. And they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasharel may be no more in remembrance.
So they full goal with every technology, invention, and all that type of stuff that they done came out with. All of these top rulers and leaders and global elites, their main goal is to continue to cut you off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in the earth.
Man.
Keep going.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
With one consent. Now, these are many nations gathering together against this one little small nation that Yahuwah chose from the beginning and made a covenant with.
Man.
Many of them that consented now, even back then and all the way to the day. It's like, hey, we might be against each other, but against these people, we collectively coming together to destroy them.
Man, that's just like that meeting that they had in Africa. What was it?
In Germany.
The
Berlin Conference.
The Berlin Conference, right. That's right.
That's all this stuff go back to the Germans.
To divide Africa amongst all these nations.
Yeah.
And not one nation from the continent of Africa was invited.
Right.
Now listen, you even in the, I was looking at this stuff, even in the phrase, it says, "For they have consulted one that word of your eyes." So they have a counselor, with a heart that's one, that's Leb Yakad or Akkad.
Wow.
So they have a counselor with one heart. They got one heart and one mind and one consent. So it's like it's saying Leb twice in that. Like they got one heart and their heart is together.
But then when you look at it, you see it play out. Now they have one heart, but we have every division.
Right.
Any way we can divide, like Willie Lister did a job now. And that's the thing. And then you see it in the natural. You see even the oppressors, even like Yahushua said in the scriptures that I was going to send you to the land of your enemies, not your friends,
Right.
Not those that love you a little bit.
Right.
It says your enemies, those that are hostile against you because of him. Right, and it was going to carry out their wicked purposes upon you. But then you will see they will gather together about anything against you.
Man.
They don't let religion stop them. They don't let their jobs, their status. I'm talking about a person that's a billionaire will be consented with a poor begging person.
Right.
Long as it's against you.
Yes.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, that's wow.
But we seek for opportunities.
Yeah.
Whether it's religions, whether it's status, whether it's class, whatever it is, to divide. And they can just look at us and say, well, yeah, we ain't worried about them. Right. They're going to take care of themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With division. They have one heart, one mind.
Man, I saw a white professor that was on YouTube, and that's what he talked about. He said the last 50 to 70 years been the most tumultuous time in turnovers of governments in the history of the world. He's talking about, and he rattled off each one in succession about all these different kingdoms. If we going back to the last 90 to 100 years, we talking about the British Empire falling, the Ottoman Empire falling, all these empires falling, another one's rising up. America, now we got China that rose up within 40 years. 40 years, and then it became an empire. Because they failed, the Soviet Union failed during that same time. If the Soviet Union failed, we were children. And now Russia's back. Yeah. So think about all these different, you see what I'm saying?
They in the top two.
Right. And so, and he said, and all this, he said, you know, the one thing that, even though they had all that turnover, one thing that remained constant is their posture towards blacks. It don't matter who's in power, who's not in power, who's going to raise up, who's going to be the dominant one, who's going to have the dominant economy, who, like, whatever role they have, they all come together in the summit and sit down and talk. Trump over there talking with Putin, even though they're going to war with each other. Right. They all sit down together. Right. But the one thing they all agree on is what role we should have. Right. No matter which one is in power, which one is not.
Right. And that's the goal of that's white supremacy. White supremacy ain't just being prejudiced. And but because white supremacy, you'll be surprised, but it's the true white supremacy, where they will allow you to go to the same school. They allow you to drink out the same water fountain. They allow you to go in the music industry and make all type of money. Right? They allow you to become business owners and CEOs and all of that. What they after is, long as they control all things and control all resources for their own national benefit. If I can still benefit my people, my race nationally, and have dominion over y'all, even though I'm allow you to do that, because it's still going to benefit me. That's what it is. It ain't about not liking you because of the color of your skin and all of that type of stuff, even though that's part of it. Right. But the main aspect of it, hey, I'm going to allow you to do everything you want to do, but as long as I got control. I'm the head over everything. Right. So when I want to make a statement, when I want to do something, I can control your resources. Therefore, I can control your heritage. It's crazy.
I'm telling you how true that is, because I was talking about that because you know how we've been given the go back to Africa. Right. Ain't nobody's came to consent to send us back yet, though. Right. Because it's never been about getting rid of us. It's about controlling us.
Come on, man.
Because there's a part of us, it's not knowing the resource that we really are.
Right.
being of his people.
Con.
And their whole agenda, but they've made so much money off of us, man. Like the one thing we should have learned through the Montgomery bus boycott, they stripped them from a year of economy and they bankrupt them because we refused to be in the back seat. So their whole thing was, we saw that, well, we all know how that went, but they saw like, man, they have a structure that they're willing to put money and power in our pocket.
Man.
And we're sitting up here trying to block them. Give them the front seat.
Right.
Because we, at the end of the day, the money's still ours.
Con.
Let them move into this neighborhood.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they still coming to our bank.
Right.
Right.
Let them come to our school. Why? Because at the end of the day, the taxes still come in our pocket.
Right.
So it's never been, yes, let them perform in these arenas. Why? Because we are the managers. We own the record companies.
Right.
The money's still coming in our pocket.
Control everything.
So we don't want them to be, they can be free
Con.
as long as the money belong to me.
Right. Right.
And that's what we don't understand.
Right.
And we're so divided and divisive amongst each other to where we even, now our dream is to be amongst them.
Right. Right.
Where our dream should be to take money from them.
Right.
That's where the real power at.
So, yeah, and even the awakening now,
Con.
you know, if you really go down to the awakening, don't want to return back to Jerusalem. The awakening want to be in America and accepted.
Con. No,
Right?
That's real.
That's really what they want.
That's real.
Because at the end of the day, to do something over and over and over again and get the same result is insanity. It is ridiculous that black people believe that they gonna overcome in America. It's so asinine
It's
and
asinine,
crazy to believe you gonna overcome when they tapping you in 2025. 2025.
Look at that consent of hatred. You know how strong that has to be from our inception over here to perpetuate that type of hate. Look like the hate would have ran out
You would think so.
or died out.
To a people that don't got nothing.
They ain't got nothing.
Nothing, no say so,
Come
no
on, man.
power.
Come on.
And in 2025, you activating the National Guard to go in cities and run them out.
Man.
In 2025,
Right.
this
In
the- it's-
DC.
In DC, it's the red summer all over again. In 2020, you think you gonna vote that away?
Come on, man.
After 200-300 years, and you still ain't done it? When you have less power, when you have less financial status in the country, when you own less real estate, when you have
Everybody.
less people in Congress,
You the tail.
you ought to tell.
Not the head.
It will never happen.
Right.
We need to go home.
We need to go home, man.
But ain't nobody petitioning for that.
No.
We just want to make it in the American dream.
Right. And be accepted.
That's
That's
how, you got to think how mind-boggling that is to want your abuser to accept you.
Boy, you said something right there.
I'm begging the kidnapper to please be my mama and daddy. I don't want to go back. I find it more comfortable as long as you allow me to eat at your lunch counter.
I find value being an accepted slave.
That's insane.
Yeah, that is. But that's the way we'd have been bred here to find acceptance by our oppressors rather than autonomy in what our history then showed us we can do. And it's sad because like in the scriptures prophesied that. It said that you're going to be the tail and not the head. You're going to be at the bottom of the nations. You have no might, no power in your hand. Even it prophesied about us being the greatest, because when you look at it, we the greatest superstars in everything: football, basketball, entertainment, movies, whatever you want to say it is. But how we the greatest entertainers, the greatest in everything, but don't own no leagues, don't own the entertainment industry, don't own nothing. And Scripture said that when you look at Genesis 49, and you look at, I think it's verse 8, when it talks about that Judah, thou him in which, I paraphrase it, thou him in which thou brother shall praise. And then it speaks, it says that thy hand shall be in the neck of your enemies, right? Now, scripturally wise, when you look at a person's hands, that represents what his work is, right? His power, right? So what it talks about, even when you look at it from a way it's being played out, our hands being in the neck of our enemy, that means our work will be right there, but it'll have a head over it.
So the shackles.
So the shackles, right? So the head, which would be the oppressors, that means everything that our work produces here will be no ownership.
Right.
Well, we won't have no head in it. The oppressors will be the head. So that's been played out.
Right.
Right. So we got to wake up to what Yahuwah said. He ain't never told us to fight for equal rights when he already told you in the scriptures that I chose you above every nation. That's Yahuwah said that. He said, I seen you, I loved you, and I did not know any other nation, according to Psalms 147.
Right.
I ain't know any other nation but you, and I set my love upon you, not because you was the greatest, but because you are the fewest among the nations, but I chose and elected you and made you above all nations. So how you going to fight for equality when you already above the him?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this show you that we ain't even got into the deception.
Nah.
But this show you like where our mindset at. But we got to wake up to realize there's an enemy.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the enemy of all colors and shapes and sizes, it ain't just one nation.
Right.
But it's nations against us, and we got to wake up and realize, man, who we are. Right? Let's keep reading that song.
Yes, sir.
Psalms 83.
Yes, for they have consulted together with one consent.
One consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They're what?
They are confederate against thee.
So, by the way, that word is berit. So they have a covenant against thee. They have a treaty.
Man.
They got something written down somewhere
So it
about
can't,
you.
So that means it can't stop.
Right. It's a blood covenant.
So I guess I got to be right about Shador then. No, but let's look at this though. Look at this situation. The top quarterbacks in the league are black.
Right.
But we're fighting for one that was ranked number 2 in his draft class, getting put in the 5th round. But the top, it's guaranteed that he has an arm. He's not as athletic as Lamar or Mike Vick, but his arm is better. His arm talent is better than the other cats. Now, of course, I know the flaws. I would say would I have made him my first choice, but he would not have been a 5th round draft pick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is humiliation. And then the ambassador that his dad has been for the league.
Don't know that now.
Because they didn't do that to the Manning brothers.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying.
Control.
Now we've had some disagreements about
We
it.
done had it now.
But
we ain't gonna air it out here.
But we do understand the main concept because there is an underline in the show.
In the show. That's
In
it.
the show.
Listen, what I heard was, I watched a bunch of little snippets on it. One thing that they were mad about, I guess they predicted this, or Diama's talked about this, was Shador had some kind of contract or something written in his contract about media concerning him.
Okay.
And so, like, allegedly, he done made millions based off
Jersey sales
and also media ops and opportunities because he's the media draw at all them practices.
Right.
But there's something that him and his dad negotiated. I mean, that's what they're saying in these videos. I don't got all the details about it.
Right.
But allegedly, there's some kind of clause he put in there for him to be able to make. He was savvy about it. In the context of like, even if he don't really even see the field, he gonna make money off the media content that's driving.
Wow.
Man.
of him being on the team.
That's why they mad.
That's why they mad.
Exactly, because if they start having young men do that, then all of a sudden that's money out of their pockets because it's almost like the NLI stuff.
Right.
They, I don't a whole bunch of sports stuff, but in the NLI stuff, we know that they make billions off football, off Negroes, and so especially in college, make all this money and for free.
Yes.
Right. But at the same time, we know that there's something that has to be given to the, we know that because there was widespread corruption at or whatever times and what that could lead to. At the same time, it shouldn't be that these children is not getting paid for anything when you making all this money off their backs.
Absolutely.
So it's like it has to be some kind of in between where they work this thing out. And I think the fear is that they would have created a system or created a pathway for all these young men to get paid where they couldn't necessarily control it. They can't really quantify it or control that valve of what they can get and what they can't get. 'Cause remember, they basically calling Prime uppity to a certain extent.
Right.
Like he shouldn't think like this. He shouldn't have this, this mindset that they should be make this type of money at this age or have this type of platform.
Right.
Or voice.
Right. Without them controlling it.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Harganines.
Before you do that, say that again. The tabernacles of who? Read the verse right before that.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
All right, so all of them are of one consent. Let's see the tabernacle.
They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom.
Now the tabernacles of Edom is talking about the house of Edom. So everybody that comes into this is under the umbrella and tabernacle of Edom.
Right.
They are all one consent from that perspective.
Right. Because Esau married one of Ishmael's daughters, right? And the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarines.
So by the way, that might be the same, related to the same group as the Ishmaelites. So, Hagar, right? You got Ishmael, but also the word Hagar, if you look up where it says this in the Strongs, and I didn't look it up in the Hebrew, the idea is like a wanderer or a nomad. So the idea is this possibly could have been like people dwelling in East Palestine and tribes, and then another one that says a wanderer.
Right.
So possibly this could be somebody like a Bedouin or Bedouin tribes or certain North African type nations.
Gotcha.
So you go.
That might go into what you were bringing up earlier.
Right.
All right, so let's run those other two. Let's go to Michael 2, because again, we see these nations. We talked about deception. We talk about in this deception was going to bring in like world changes according to the dominion of the fallen ones or the oppressors, right? And then we talk about all these nations gathering together against Yahuwah's hidden one, which is his people, have come together. Now let's look at the mindset of these people, how they think.
Woe to them, Micah 2, starting at verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Now they sitting here
at night
dreaming and trying to think of how more evil they can be. They can't even go to bed without just thinking, man, I ain't did enough evil today. I got to come to destroy these people more. We can never let them return back into their power.
Right.
So let me get a greater idea of destruction. Keep going. This is the mindset of our oppressors.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and evil and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
So they in power. They're in their salvation. They are in their power. Right. So they know, hey, listen, I'm going to just think of something even greater evil. When I get it, I'm going to practice this thing. I'm straight into this thing because it's in my hand to do it.
Oh, my goodness.
Bill Gates.
Bill.
Oh, my goodness.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, come on. Biological warfare. How a man that's of Microsoft and got into the health world.
Man.
He's supposed to be about computers, and now
Right.
he's creating biological vaccines, and we just take the vaccines from a computer guy.
Man.
A computer guy who's known for having viruses.
Right.
He created
Katie
the operating system and the Internet Explorer that is known for viruses.
God.
He gonna heal you from viruses.
God.
It's crazy, man. Then now he done got into the food food arena, man. It's crazy. We just devising evil.
That's crazy.
From technology to get into the health systems, and then now to get into even the food industry, devising of evil.
God.
It's crazy, man.
And they covet fields and take them by violence. Now you know that word covet means they take delight in doing this.
Yes.
Man, I saw a video today, and it was from the 70s, and it was this sister. She was, I don't know, she was from the island somewhere, and she was speaking on the invasion of the Portuguese, I think, of Haiti. And so, like, I didn't realize this, but they said that, you know, they got the Arawaks, you got the Caribs, Indians, and the Tainos, right, who all live in them territories. So they all call this Haiti. So that's where they get the word Haiti from. They said that the people that live there. So they said that when they got there, when you talking about the Arawaks, the Tainos, and what's the third group I just said? The Arawaks, the Tainos, and the Caribs. That's where we get Caribbean from, the idea of Caribbean from.
God.
So when before they got there, they said it was almost 3.2 million or 3 million inhabitants. Within there, they said within 10 years, there was like 200,000 left. Wow. They went from 3 million to 200,000 in 10 years.
Just like the Australians did Australia.
Yeah, same way.
New Zealand.
Listen, Australia was nothing but Negroes.
Yeah.
You hear me? The Negro-ish of Negroes. They had picks in their heads. Yeah. They got the same kind of picks you find in like Egypt and stuff, ancient Egypt. Same thing with Tonga. You go to Tonga now, they're a bunch of light-skinned looking Asian people. Yeah. You go back to 1870, they're a bunch of Negroes. You know, Hawaii. Same way, bunch of Negroes until the invasion of whites, and all of a sudden now they like a bunch of mixed people. You know, they still have more of a Negro look than some of the other ones do. Right. Like, because Tua and some of the rest of these football players, some of them you wouldn't even know. You would think they were just light skinned.
Right.
But yeah, you see what I'm saying. But yeah, Covet Field, take them by violence. 3 million to 200,000 in 10 years. You talking about absolute obliteration.
That's crazy. It's that Leopold stuff. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Man, look at this. They ain't even just trying to kill the man.
No,
they ain't just trying to oppress the man. They trying to oppress the man's household. Not just his house, which was his legacy, everything he established. Not just his legacy. They gonna take your heritage. Mm-hmm. So that means that'll be groups of people around here claiming they're people that they're not.
Right. That's it.
Man.
That's what the scriptures say.
That's what the scriptures say.
The scriptures.
And it won't even matter. It's like, listen, we built all that. We created all of that. From every concept of a place in Africa to America. You'll believe that the oppressors is the only people that ever been on earth, that ever done anything. Man. But the scriptures tell you this was going to happen. I'm going to oppress this man. I'm going to enslave him. I'm going to take his legacy, which is his house. That means I'm going to even put my DNA in there.
Yes.
Allow my DNA to move down this man's heritage, down this man's legacy in his household. Then I'm going to take his heritage. Everything that they believe that they are, and then all their sciences, all of their civilizations, and everything that they done built, we'll get the credit for it.
Listen, man. Hey, some deep stuff.
That's the scriptures talking, man.
and then they'll take delight in this.
Yeah.
Hey, in these people, the Anglo American, I'm gonna put it that way. The Anglo American, they do studies about. They say that of course Anglo Americans descend from Neanderthals. Africans descend from I think Cro-Magnon, and they got another man they say descend from. But they say that the African man is tens of millions of years old.
Right.
That's scientists, white scientists say this.
Right.
Anglo-American scientists. Anglo-American scientists also say that the modern European Anglo-Saxon man has only existed somewhere from 5,000 to maybe 9,000 years. So you're talking about maybe 9 to 10 million years versus
Thousands.
9 to 10,000 years. If you put that together, that's like a minute compared to months. Yeah, y'all see what I'm saying? So they will have to go and possess everybody's heritage and their legacy and all this other stuff because
They don't have one.
They just got here.
Right.
They just got
They
here.
ain't been here long enough to establish them.
They haven't. That's why Yahuwah says, he says, every nation lies in glory. And I was like, what that phrase? That's what they're talking about. Because they know they wasn't no Egyptians.
No.
They know that. They
But
know
they
they
sell it to us that they are the original Egyptians.
right.
Even though you go see the caves and so you go see they black as us. You say they got the wide nose, the full lips, the Sphinx, and all of that, but it's still them.
They the Egyptians.
Come
They
on.
the Moors.
Come on.
They the Indians.
Come on.
right.
They the Israelites.
They the Israelites.
I'm telling you.
Anywhere that's black people, they do.
They
they Australians.
the Sephardic Jews.
They Sephardic Jews. Listen, I thought Australians was some white men saying, "Good day, Mike." I watched Crocodile Dundee.
Right.
I like that must be an Australian.
They the Irish.
Oh, they the Irish too. So listen,
Now you know what the original Irish was.
listen. I thought all my life that an Irish man was a pale skinned man with ginger hair.
Yeah, with a skirt.
Right. Fight like this. But then you go read history. Every quote from history from the 1800s and back calls them black or dark skinned people with dark hair and dark eyes.
All the way through.
All the way through. So when did this change come? When did they go from being dark skinned and black people to extremely white with red hair? That'd be a whole other lesson. We start talking about that. Listen, we got the receipts now. We got all the receipts.
Reclaiming the throne too. Let's go to the next scripture.
Okay, Proverbs 4. You said start with verse 16.
Oh, just to add on to what Chief was talking about, that's also in the scriptures too. It says in Job 9:24, it says the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, and they covered the faces of the judges.
Man. Hold up, man. Let's go to that real quick.
Job 9:24.
I want to know what word they use it for judge. What word they use it for judge right there, Chief?
Let me look that up. I'm gonna pull that up on the phone. Job 9. Let me pull it up. 24.
That's a 5. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so fine.
So that's the idea of the lawgivers.
God.
So we know who that is.
God.
That's Yehuda.
That's Yehuda.
That's
Yehuda.
that Genesis 49, right?
49. Go right back to that.
Go right back to Genesis 49. So they took somebody go back to what we just read, their heritage.
Right.
God.
They took the man house and their heritage.
God. And
Called
they ain't
themselves-
never giving it back.
No. No.
They ain't never giving it back. So we just trying to put you in to get you to understand how this oppressor mind works.
Right.
Right? Let's get the other scripture and then we'll go into some things.
For they sleep, Proverbs 4, starting with verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief. And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall.
Ooh, man.
They can't even sleep. It ain't no rest until they got you calling your women
Hoes.
Yeah.
There ain't no sleep until they got you shooting each other.
Con.
Ain't no sleep until they got you donating drugs and exchanging to each other.
Con.
Ain't no sleep until they got you calling yourself a Crip and I'm calling myself a Blood.
Con.
It's no sleep
Con.
unless there's chaos and turmoil in your house and confusion when it's according to your heritage. They can't sleep.
They can't sleep, man.
That's perfection.
Man.
That's what that is.
Man,
Anytime that you gonna perfect whatever that is. When you can't sleep until you do a thing, that's how. Listen, that's how me and Chief and you were in the awakening.
Right.
We couldn't what sleep until we understood.
Right.
So we kept
up studying and studying, picking everything together.
Facts.
And then we were perfected by that.
Big word, man.
In the context of everything we was doing and try to establish. But this go back to what Chief was saying from the beginning about why they doing this, because they could just wipe you out.
Right.
Why they not trying to just wipe you out?
Right.
They want to keep your numbers down so you controllable, but they want to have a population that's controllable. Who hit me with this the other day? That's Hasatan. So Christians believe that Hasatan is coming to destroy the world. Right? That's the idea you have. The end times is Hasatan.
Right.
Coming to destroy the world.
Right.
It is not Hasatan coming to destroy the world.
Right.
Right? Because the whole in Revelation, if you really read it, what's happening is that Yahuwah is destroying Hasatan's world.
That's it.
And then he panics.
Right.
Because his world has already existed up until that time.
Right.
So Hasatan is not that he don't want the earth to be destroyed. He want to rule over it.
Right.
From day one. He wanted to
From the beginning.
continue.
Right.
As, even the ones that love Hasatan that's amongst the people. He says what? They say things have continued since the fathers.
Right.
That's the idea of Hasatan, is to lure you to sleep and to have you continually in the grave. Right? Ezekiel, the mass grave. And all these other prophecies. Daniel about the awakening. The idea is not for you to be moved out the way.
Right.
It's for you to be asleep and continually controlled. Right. So if we can look at Revelation, what happens? Yahuwah interrupts it. Right. And then it says that he cast down over. He says he panics because he have what? A short time. Right. His rule is done. That's what the end times is Yahuwah wrecking this particular system. Not Hasatan coming to the end of the world.
Right, because then the question would be, how can Hasatan destroy something he didn't build?
God.
He don't have the ability to do that.
No. He'd have been done already. And what he gonna rule over after it's gone? Nothing. He don't want this stuff's going on in America. He don't want this stuff to happen.
No, because this is a good time. This is the greatest hustle ever.
Man.
I can control that. I can influence, not even say control. I can influence people that he set up in order and get them to come down with me and my people.
So what happened to Babylon the first time? Babylon the first time was rocking, doing everything they needed to do. And then Yahuwah said, let me come down and what? Mess them up.
Mess it up.
Confound them.
Right.
Let me figure out a way to disable them in the midst of what they're doing. So now they can't communicate and all the things that they're building will fall apart.
Right.
That's what's happening. All this stuff you see in America, they think this Hasatan. No, it's Yahuwah.
God.
Man.
Disrupting.
Yes, he's disrupting it. Man. But then you look at one thing that Yahuwah allowed Babylon to do in ancient times first, it talks about where Nimrod had started his kingdom and it began to spread. Right. So Nimrod, he brought everybody into one place to establish one world rule and one world government. Right. And Yahuwah came down and interrupted that and destroyed it. Now, he's still allowing that now, because you got to remember that Esau first going to rule, but Yaakov will rule what? After that. Right. Now, what is happening now? Yahuwah allowing these things to happen here, and they're still disrupting, but then allowing things to happen. So he's going to allow them to set up one world government, one world rule. Right. Why? Because once the earth get under one rule, Yahuwah going to destroy the rulers and bring us ruling everything. Right. Where the people concept will already be one world government, one world order. So that's why I'm like, oh yeah, go on, make it that. Right. Make it one world order, one world government, because the real order coming. The real government coming, and we coming back into our rulership. So they got to do what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? But like Chief was saying, but in the midst of it, you would just get, because for our sake, so we won't be destroyed, so we won't be consumed. Let me come here and interrupt that. Let me destroy that and then say Hasatan, because if Hasatan, you know how much stuff if he had complete control, you know how much stuff he would have be doing. Can you imagine how it would be
Man.
without Yahuwah interrupting? Can you imagine? It wouldn't be a single one of us left.
No.
Huh?
No. And we'd be
But
hybrids.
he keep interrupting.
He would make hybrids.
God.
Be one big hive.
Because the thing about it is the existence of the joy he would get out of it.
Right.
You know, that it would never, the run of that never ending. Because you think about it, because Yahuwah, when he came down, he said, man, if I leave them be, there will be nothing that they can't do.
That's it, man.
This is after, now think about it, this is after he took Adam and Kawal from the garden,
right.
from the tree of life.
God.
How were they able to come together and crack the code again? But you know, even he said, but from the books that they took away, he played with their ego. Because they said they were going to make war with the Most High. And he allowed them to shoot arrows in, and they up there, because they coming down with blood, they thinking they entering in, and he up there laughing at them. But all he doing is ripening them up for the right time.
That's it, man.
That when I can come in perfect timing. Boom!
Destroy it.
And that's what he doing now.
That's it.
He gonna let this stuff go.
Right.
And then when the right time come,
he coming with it, man. Let's finish that. Proverbs 14, 4 and 16, then verse 17. Read that 16 again. That thing crazy.
For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence.
That's their Pesach ceremony.
That's it. That's it.
Breaking of the bread of wickedness, drinking of the wine of violence.
Because Pesach is
Communion.
about what?
War.
So now that tell you what communion really is.
Right.
What we knew in church is the real communion is this.
Right.
God.
Their commemoration that they've done away with our heritage.
Now that's their communion now. But that's powerful what you just said.
They did away
that's
with
powerful
because they said they don't gotta keep the
right, that commemorate the covenant of Psalms 83.
Right.
Of them coming together with
Right.
one confederate.
Right.
Now they eating of one bread of violence and drinking of one bread of wickedness and drinking of one cup of violence.
And taking
as
away
a
that
memorial.
and they taking away the
What
heritage.
do they call what they eating? The body of Mashiach. What's the body of the Mashiach? It's it's the Israelites.
That's right.
Remember, the body is the gathering of the people.
That's right. That's right. Man.
That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what the scripture says.
That's
The assembly is
It's
the body.
That's right.
So when they come together, they in one accord and covenant, and then they drinking this wine and they breaking the body. Each one of them taking a piece and consuming
destroying
it.
us. So they breaking us. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's
Hey man. Hey man. This stuff is wild, man.
It's wild, man.
It's crazy.
And they drink the blood representing them taking our power and our anointing.
Man. Dividing us and conquering us.
Man.
Man, it's crazy. All right, so we said all that. To get to like some of the stuff that's going on. I know last time we talked about Elon Musk a little bit and Trump a little bit. They're coming together, so we just wanted to talk about a little bit of because you gotta look at a lot of we got Israelites, we got unawakened Israelites, we got Americans. Everybody is someone pushing Trump and pushing this cabinet and not realizing some people still in the delusion about voting and all of that type of stuff. But man, seeing that like this stuff is you are the target. Right. Trump coming in, you the target. Elon Musk being a part of his cabinet, you the target. You can never forget that you're the target. So we want to talk about a little bit of the history of Elon Musk as a child. We got a little bit of the video on that. We'll be pausing and going back and forth on that. Yeah.
Interview with the reporter Chris McGreal, who is the Johannesburg correspondent for The Guardian during the last years of apartheid through 2002. He's been closely following the South African-born billionaire Elon Musk, who was born in 1971 in Johannesburg, South Africa, and raised under the country's racist apartheid laws. Some of McGreal's pieces include what does Elon Musk believe and how the roots of the PayPal mafia extend to apartheid South Africa. I began by asking Chris McGreal to discuss Musk's grandfather, Joshua Haldeman.
We see Musk's grandfather, Joshua Haldeman. He immigrates to South Africa in 1950, and that's really when apartheid's just starting to kick in. The 1950s are when the first laws, South Africa had discriminatory laws before, but you see the specific apartheid laws, which are much more aggressive, and in many ways reminiscent of the Nazi Nuremberg laws against Jews in the 1930s. They have very similar echoes in stripping black people from the right to work in certain places, their movements, controlling them, confining them to areas. You already had a situation.
Real quick, you notice he said that the laws that the Nazis had were the same, similar to the same laws they had in apartheid, right? And so it's not like it was a different system. It's kind of like how the torture devices that they use in the Inquisition are the same torture devices they used in slavery.
Right.
Because there's always this thing of whatever this thing they did with the Jews, they just so happen to do the exact same thing with black people.
Right.
On every level of this. Even we talking about the word ghetto, right? The black people was ghetto, right? And then we find out that ghettos were places they call Judearias.
Right.
In them other countries, Judearias are where the Jews would be. Right. That's what ghettos, but the word ghetto is not synonymous with Jews.
No.
The word ghetto is synonymous with what? Black people.
That's right.
So all these things, we talking about black codes, similar to the Nuremberg laws, whatever they was talking about, apartheid, all this stuff is one system that was that's always related back to whatever is considered to be associated with Jewish people.
Right.
Which is now, come to the fore because of recent events with Trump. But
you mean with Elon Musk giving the Nazi salute?
Yes, but also with the sanctions over land, is that the 1913 Land Act had already deprived most black people of land in South Africa anyway. At that point, the 7% or 10%, as it was, of the population that was white owned more than 85% of the land under the Land Act.
How, Sway? How you come over there, a country full of black people, of Africans, then you make demands in which they can't own the land that they've been living on for centuries. You come in there and take over and own it, and only 10% of the people owning the 80-some% can't own the land that they've been living on and producing for them. Go ahead.
Ancestral lands.
Ancestral
That's
lands.
what you just read.
Right.
Y'all pressing the man and his heritage, his ancestral lands, everything that pertains to their culture and heritage. That's from generations going back.
Right.
You just show up one day and you say, okay, that's mine.
Right.
And that's it.
And I own this.
Who else that scripture be talking about? See, this the thing that, we let Christianity cloud our mind and our thinking, like it's how we've been taught the scriptures. When stuff is that specific and straightforward, you got to accept it for what it is. Yeah. It's just like how when you look at the stuff that happened to us as a people, it's don't apply to no other people. There ain't no other people on the planet you can take these prophecies to and say that it exists to them. Right. Ain't no way you're going to take the German Jews and apply any of these prophecies in the scriptures, any of them, and say that those people are the people of prophecy.
Ain't no way.
It's not possible. So, this stuff is wild. You got to call a spade a spade.
Spade a spade, man.
Act of 1913. So the apartheid laws kick in the 1950s. Elon Musk was born in 1971 in Johannesburg, and at that point, the Prime Minister was a guy called John Forster. And John Forster's background is very telling, really, because Forster in the 1930s had been a member of a neo-Nazi militia called the OB, which was openly sympathetic and linked to the Nazis in Germany. It was responsible for all kinds of attacks, but including burning Jews out of their businesses in Johannesburg.
And we're talking about what years?
In the 1930s, so the late 1930s. And then South Africa goes to...
What Jews was in Johannesburg?
Oh, they didn't tell you in school about the Jews that's in Johannesburg? Funny how they be leaving all kind of stuff out. It's burning them out of their business. So in America, do we have a whole bunch of Jews getting burned out of their businesses? Yeah, I mean, it happened all the time. They talk about that in school during,
Towns getting bombed.
yeah. So we see that, again, here we go, another one of them patterns.
That's it.
Right? We don't know who them Jews are.
Right.
We know all over Africa there's, all these documentation of black Jews, even Ethiopian Jews. And so who are these people? And who would be bombing these people? Why would the Nazis, who are Germans, go against other Germans? Right? Just go and burn down their businesses for absolutely no reason. What would be the purpose of them doing that? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, if you really think about it, we just automatically assume stuff based on the media we've already consumed. Like, we got these preconceived notions, but we don't question this stuff. Real quick, so I watched this video, and this is a white guy talking about this. He said he don't believe in the Revolutionary War. I'm not saying nobody should have that mindset.
Right.
But he brung out a point, though. He's like, so you mean to tell me that you got a handful of people that left a country in rebellion and came over to be farmers, and then they rose up against the strongest empire in the world and beat them with no training? And when he said that, I was like, hold up. What? He right? The British Empire? Have you ever thought about that, G?
No, I ain't never thought
I thought about it.
A couple of militias?
Because you got to think about it, and then turn around and sell you that their royal marriage is supposed to be an important event in your life. Right. The same people that you said the British are coming, but I gotta watch Charles and Diana get married. They interrupt my whole TV program.
I thought you got independence from them people.
That's what I thought.
Right. Look, you see something real shady about that.
Real shady.
But we don't think about this stuff until we speak it. If you slow down and speak this stuff out loud, some of this stuff don't make sense.
No.
War as an ally of Britain against Hitler, the OB and the groups that support them, like Forster, people like Forster, they actively oppose that. They actually are in touch with, OB is in touch with German military intelligence, and they plan to assassinate the Prime Minister of South Africa, Jan Smuts, and overthrow the government and have it support Hitler. That plan fails because the Germans are unable to provide.
Y'all didn't hear what we just said. I'm gonna run it back for you. This is who Elon Musk them. This is the stuff they're talking about now. Let's play it back
Jews
again.
out of their businesses in Johannesburg.
And we're talking about what years?
In the 1930s, so the late 1930s. And then South Africa goes to war as an ally of Britain against Hitler. The OB and the groups that support them, like Forster, people like Forster, they actively oppose that. They actually are in touch with, OB is in touch with German military intelligence, and they plan to assassinate the Prime Minister of South Africa, Jan Smuts, and overthrow the government and have it support Hitler. That plan fails because the Germans are unable to provide the necessary weapons and back out.
What? Listen, this is what Elon Musk's grandfather believed in.
This is roots.
This is his roots. This is what he was bred in. This is not just him, but his buddies and the PayPal Mafia.
PayPal Mafia.
All of them came from that school of
All of
thought.
them came from that school of thought. And these are the people that's in power now.
Right now, running things.
Right.
Running things.
This stuff been put in them since they was children. And now they got the opportunity, and you just glad you driving a Tesla.
So that means That means when he did that Hitler salute,
Oh,
that
that's
was
100%.
that was a signal to say we back.
Yeah.
And nobody was mad about it.
Nobody.
Listen, what? The Jews wasn't even mad. What were the Jews at?
Man.
That wasn't anti-Semitic.
Listen,
That should have been.
Kyrie can't watch a movie.
One.
Kyrie
sent a
can't
link out. And they tried to destroy
They
this
tried
man's
to
career.
destroy his
This
career.
man do a whole Nazi salute. And then he up there talking about, no, that was just, we was just doing gestures and all that. Don't be no fool now. We showing you the roots in which these people was bred in. You know what I'm saying? Now. One day, we'll really break down what the Nazi, what that correlation is right there. We'll break down Hitler, why Germany was worship Hitler the way they did, and why Hitler was so mad at the Jewish people. Right? Because everything deception now.
Well, who run
Everything
Hollywood,
deception.
Chief? Who run Hollywood, Chief?
Trying to get us canceled out here, don't you?
All I'm
You trying to shut it down.
saying is, all I'm
We
saying
better
is
get red flagged already.
Hollywood is real good at what they do. That's all I'm saying. Because but that goes back to what we were saying, how the intent is so strong to put what their agenda is to wipe out your history.
Right.
They'll wipe out their own people
Oh, big time.
just to put out a narrative to get. That's what I'm saying. How strong is the hold to? They'll take out their own people to keep you subjected.
Right.
That's called commitment.
That's big time.
That we don't got.
Right.
We ain't listen, man.
We ain't there now.
We was close in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then we had some sellout Negroes that got all them leaders killed.
COINTELPRO came.
Yeah.
And destroyed everything. We're gonna talk about COINTELPRO one day. And we're gonna show how COINTELPRO is in this awakening now. It's in this awakening. Don't be deceived now. It's in this awakening. Let's go ahead before we get in trouble.
John Forster, later Prime Minister, stands up and gives a speech, and he talks about the system that their kind of ideological belief system, which was Christian nationalism. And he says, Christian nationalism in South Africa is the same as Nazism in Germany and
Ricky, I'm gonna run it back. Tell them why you mad, son.
assassinate the Prime Minister of South Africa, Jan Smuts, and overthrow the government and have it support Hitler. That plan fails because the Germans are unable to provide the necessary weapons and back out. But in 1942, John Forster, later Prime Minister, stands up and gives a speech, and he talks about the system that their kind of ideological belief system, which was Christian nationalism. And he says, Christian nationalism in South Africa is the same as Nazism in Germany and fascism in Italy. It's all anti-democratic. It's all the same thing. By 1971,
Hold on, let that play.
when Elon Musk is born, that man is the Prime Minister of South Africa.
This
and
man
Christian
becomes
nationalism
the
is
Prime
the basis
Minister of
not
South
only the political
Africa
philosophy,
during
but the
the
entire
time that
education
Elon
system
Musk was born,
that
and
Elon
this is
Musk
the
is brought up
education
into.
system they
So
learn
take
from.
us from
Rewind that
Elon.
so you can go to
Plan
that.
fails because the Germans are unable to provide the necessary weapons and back out. But in 1942, John Forster, later Prime Minister, stands up and gives a speech, and he talks about the system that their kind of ideological belief system, which was Christian nationalism. And he says, Christian nationalism in South Africa is the same as Nazism in Germany and fascism in Italy. It's all anti-democratic. It's all the same thing. By 1971, when Elon Musk is born, that man is the Prime Minister of South Africa. And Christian nationalism is the basis of not only the political philosophy, but the entire education system that Elon Musk is brought up into.
So take us from Elon Musk's grandfather
So
and
when
moving
Elon
to
Musk
South
say
Africa
he
in
a
the 50s
Christian
to
or
his
some
father.
sort, this is what he talking about.
This is also why your boy Trump
God.
say he a Christian,
God.
right?
God.
Christian nationalism.
Christian nationalism.
You know,
Anti-democratic, same as fascism, and the same as what was the other thing?
You say Marxism?
Neo-Nazism.
Neo-Nazism. Yes. You can play some more.
Yeah.
How they gained their wealth.
So Elon Musk's grandfather moves there in 1950s. He's not particularly prosperous. He arrives without a lot of money, but it's Elon Musk's father, Errol, who makes the real money, principally through investments in emerald mines in Zambia. And, you know, mining conditions in southern Africa in that period were really pretty dire in the 1960s and 70s. Very high death rate, very poor conditions, but the owners got very rich. And Musk lived what can only be described as a neo-colonial life. If you were white South African in that period and you had any money at all, you lived with servants that can call, you lived in sprawling...
So a lot of time we hear terms, we want to just let it glaze over. Neo-colonialism means the new colonialism, right? So he's saying basically Elon Musk lived in the context of like the beneficiary from slavery, like in the new slavery. And he was a trust fund baby basically from the new slavery. That's what she's saying.
Housing, and what you see with Errol Musk is that when we get a glimpse into just how much money he had when he and Elon's mother get divorced, she says at the time that, well, he owns a yacht, he owns a jet, he owns several houses, so there was considerable wealth there.
Was the grandfather of Elon Musk on the record in his support for Forster?
Well, he was certainly on the record in his support for apartheid, very vividly so, yes. And he said that that's why he'd moved to South Africa from Canada in 1940 was in support of it. Now, the grandfather himself...
His dad, listen, his dad said he moved from Canada to South Africa to support apartheid.
To support apartheid.
Meanwhile, we watching Serafini with a tear in our eye, like, man, if our people just get free. Elon Musk's dad is moving his whole family like, yeah, with a colonialism and apartheid flag, like keep them niggas down.
Right. We better go be a part of that right now.
Right, because he was going to profit and capitalize off of the oppression.
Right.
Is killed a few years later in a plane crash, but it's not known what Elon Musk's grandmother's personal views of Forster particularly were, but they were both avid supporters of the apartheid system, and the grandmother lived for a number of years afterwards.
So you've been talking about Elon Musk's maternal grandparents and how they moved to South Africa, but talk about their roots in Canada.
Originally, the grandparents have no connection to South Africa. They're born and grew up in Canada. And in the 1930s, the grandfather, Joshua Haldeman, he's head of the Canadian branch of a US movement called Technocracy Incorporated. And Technocracy Incorporated is essentially a movement to overthrow democratic government in the United States and have technocrats, but big businessmen in many ways, come in and run the country. That's partly a reaction to
Yeah, so listen, technocracy. And so when you go look up technocracy, you gonna pull up the definition?
Yeah, I'll pull up the definition of it.
Read that.
Let me get it. Hold on 1 second. It's amazing. All right, so it says technocracy is a form of government in which decision makers appoint knowledge experts in specific domains to provide them with advice and guidance in various areas of their policy-making responsibility. Technocracy follows largely in tradition other meritocratic theories, which works best the state exerts strong control over social and economic issues. The system sometimes presented as explicitly contrasting a representative of democracy. The notion that elected representatives should be primary decision makers in government, despite the fact that technocracy does not imply eliminating elected representatives, it is in a technocracy, decision makers rely on the individuals and institutions possessing specialized knowledge and dollars-based evidence rather than advisors and political affirmations or loyalty.
So essentially, when we talking about technocracy, we talking about a system of government that, like she said, they want to overthrow democratic rule. Listen, this is besides us. White folks, if any white folks watch this video, y'all should be upset and afraid of technocracy. Because the idea is that they're going to take all the control over every function and service of America, take it out of the hands of poor whites or so-called minorities. I say so-called minorities because the minorities are the majority. And put it in the hands of a few technocratic wizards who control people through industry, like people from Silicon Valley, people from which really now it's mainly the people formerly of Silicon Valley. This is all the AI technology and computers and the manufacturing of devices, Apple and all that kind of stuff. The media giants, right? Putting all their hands, and then and also sciences, people like Bill Gates.
Right.
We talking about the elimination of population through vaccinations, the modification of food, and all that kind of stuff. It's similar to eugenics. And eugenics is also a German-born idea. Right? Technocracy, German-born idea. Nazism, German-born idea. Ashkenazi Jews, German-born idea. All this stuff comes from one really main source. And this whole thing we can go in the context of that, but technocracy is, if we go through the whole thing about the ideals of technocracy, it's also this thing called re-immigration. And that's what we talked about last time in the last video. Me and Chief talked about that. You can go back and watch that video. But re-immigration is one of the main tenets of how they established a technocratic government. Right? So right here, it says the term re-immigration is associated with the far-right concept of re-immigration, which advocates for the mass deportation of non-European immigrants and their descendants. There's no, so it says there's no formal direct link between the academic concept of technocracy and this ideology, but the growing influence of technocratic ideas in government has been analyzed as a separate factor and can contribute or intersect with the far-right immigration stance, right? So again, it says re-immigration, the far-right concept. Unlike the standard dictionary term referring to a country, re-immigration is used by the far-right as a political term. Negalism, I never heard that before, for ethnic cleansing. Origin is a political meaning of the term that gained a wider public knowledge in 2023 when the German news outlet called The Corrective reported a secret meeting of far-right extremists with officials from the Alternative for Germany, or the AfD party. The goal, the master plan discussed, was to involve the mass deportation of millions of immigrants and German citizens not seen as properly assimilated. That sounds like the transfer agreement.
Wow, right.
All right? Growth in Europe. The concept has gained traction across Europe as far-right movements. By the way, far-right, you can put hashtag Christian nationalism. Far-right and Christian nationalism are like synonyms. Right? The movement has adopted it, framing migration as a threat for national and cultural identity, mainstreaming. Though historically confined to fringe group, the term is increasingly appearing in party platforms, media, and public discourse. The shift raises alarm about the normalization of ethno-nationalist ideas. So remember, we talked about last time how Trump right now has got Marco Rubio, I think, heading up the Department of Remigration. They are starting the Department of Remigration as we speak. And so all these things is coming from the technocratic idea.
And then just adding to that, it is an idea where to be put in power, you have to have some type of technical or knowledge, expertise in certain areas. So it's not necessarily about being for the people, having some type of political stance, but it's about being an expert and being skilled in a certain area, because they believe that the utopian world in which they're trying to accomplish is only going to come through technology. Right. So now putting people that are expertise in place, this is why you would wonder why in the world Elon Musk is getting into what we know as politics. Different ones is getting to certain areas. Bill Gates getting into certain areas as it relates to government, Peter Thiel, as it relates to government, because they believe the advances of technology and having expertise in that is what's going to take us to their idea of utopian world.
How true that is, because how in the world, based off of what we just saw of the history of Elon Musk, how is he able to hold an office in the American government? He was not born here.
You're not born here.
His parents weren't born here.
Right.
How does he obtain an office over the government jobs in this nation, and he has no ties to it?
None.
Unless there's something deeper that we don't know.
Right.
Because he can't get nowhere where he ain't welcome.
Right. Right.
So now we got to really look at what we really dealing with as far as the government we looking and facing every day.
God.
Like, is this really the nation of the United States?
Right.
Or is this the United Apartheid?
Right.
So
right
these are real
United
questions now.
Apartheid.
Because remember, and you know, none of us was no Obama fans. He's one of the
No,
wickedest things
man.
that happened to our people. But what was the first thing they questioned? He was born in the United States.
Right.
So he does have a claim to be able to run for government office in this place because he has a stake as an American citizen.
Right.
How is it that a man that's not even a citizen,
Technology.
they still ain't told us where he became a citizen of this place?
It don't
But he
matter.
has one of the highest seats that he runs the government jobs.
He was
Technocracy.
auditing the government. So a foreign national was auditing the government of the United States.
That's technocracy.
Right.
Don't none of those things matter. He's an expert as it relates to the utopian world to come. Right. And then when you listen, if you really search how he got to where he at, he ain't no expert. No. Man, if you really go study how he came into what he came into and how he began to be who he came to be. But that's the goal of technocracy. We're going to put everybody in position that's expertise in these areas, and the people don't make the decision. It ain't for the people by the people. It's what we think is best based off our own research and our ideals.
That's it. And it goes,
God.
Read earlier, it's one consent. He didn't have to be a citizen, but he's a one consent
In that covenant.
in that covenant that's confederate against a people.
listen, how many, they say Donald Trump got how many felonies? They say he got like 29 different felonies? Something like that. A Negro had one felony, can't get a job.
It's over.
Not in the government, he can't.
No, anywhere. That man gonna have to go through a work release program to work at McDonald's with a felony. And then you know what I'm saying? It's like this stuff is wild. That man that have, and this go back to him too. Trump family is tied. People don't realize Trump is a German. Trump descent, his grandfather is like some German man. Not only Trump name ain't even Trump. Trump, their family really original name was Drumpf. They changed it to Trump. Yeah, Trump is a German. So and that's the reason why he's connecting with all these people, and like we be telling y'all, man, listen, man, whenever we all get together and talk about this thing, the Germans have always been behind. They one of the main forces. They're not the only one. We done read Tabernacles of Edom, Agarenes, all that. But we talking about from the Anglo-European point, it is the Germans at every level of this thing. We talking about from the Germans are the ones who kicked us out of Spain and Portugal because it was the Goths who ended up becoming the Germans, right, in 1492. Then from there, they called it the Reconquista when they took it from us. Then you can go even further from that. When them people took over the identity of the Portuguese and the Spanish. Then they start coming over here and explorations and start taking over America. Then, not too long after that, the Germans took over the UK from the Stuart family. They went in there and ran out the Stuarts. By the way, Stuart mean black.
Mean black.
That's what it means. I mean, you know, them people were called the Black Moors. That's what they was called. So he went in there, ran all them out, and they had a new family there. They called them the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. Gotha is the word Goth, because that's when the whites came in to go. Prince Charles, all them, Germans, descendants of Germans. They got the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. They're not the Windsors or the Stuarts.
Right.
Right? They come, they take them over. And then you had the Jacobite rebellion and all that kind of stuff. They're kicking out this, the Irish and the Scots who were black. Then we come further down to America, right? We come to the founding of America. And that's a whole nother discussion we're about to get into right now about who started that. But then here come what? In the late 1800s, here come the Germans. 1870-ish, going into the 1900s. And when they came over, they took over everything. Here comes Standard Oil. Here come they call it the Gilded Age. Here comes Rockefeller and Rothschild and DuPont. And like, because what happened is them people didn't just invade Spain and Portugal. They also took over France. They went over there in Italy. People like, if you go back in history, when Italians came to America, they called them Guineas. They just called Italians Guineas because, you know, Guinea, of course, is in Africa, because of the dark skin. Basically, Italians were black people, or people with almost like light-skinned black people. Right. Until they ended up getting whited out also. But and then Benjamin Franklin, a German, goes in front of the writes an essay about it and about how, like, hey, let's stop all the Spanish and all the Italians and the Southern Germans and the Africans from coming over here, because they're gonna black us out. I mean, he didn't use the term black us out, but that's what he's talking about. He said he talking about the Southern Germans, because people realize that the Southern Germans were black.
Right.
It was a whole thing about the Northern Germans invading down and taking over the Southern Germans. The Southern Germans were blackamoors also, and they were the original papacy and all that. They're the original Christian leaders of the church, right? Because people think the church come from Jerusalem. It did not come from no Jerusalem, right? But they're the original. During that time period, they're the ones who were the custodians of the papacy and Christendom. But then, and they're the ones who end up eventually converting them Germans over to Christianity. But there's a painting, you can go find it. It's called The Wild Men versus the Moors.
Right.
When from that time period, from 1700s, when you see these white men come down and invade this castle with all these black kings and queens trying to defend that invasion. But they came in, eventually took it over, and then assumed all them seats. And then they became, after that, not so long after that, you got the Inquisition and all that other stuff. There's the persecution of the Yehudis, who now we know are black. We didn't know that back in the day. So then you're like, oh, that's the end of it. No, it's not the end of it, because then you get into the 1800s. What happens in Africa? All of a sudden, here come colonialism. Right. Who was it led by? The Germans. Right. So much so that they call it what? The Berlin Conference. Yeah. So in Berlin, Germany, they all sat down and was like, hey, look, how are we going to take Africa from the Africans? And who was it? All the places that they invaded: France, Germany, the Dutch, who are also descendants of the Germans. Of course, the Americans and certain ones, they all come together and make this agreement. Then they split up Africa and take all their resources. And then we in America went through, but next thing you know, we got the Ashkenazi invasion. The Ashkenazis come over here and they take over all the spaces of businesses and all the and our identity. Right. So anyway, and even in Africa, we got the Black Holocaust that was in Namibia. The Black Holocaust in Namibia was done by who? The Germans. Leopold and the Dutch going down into where? Congo. Also more Germans. So we looking at like they talking about 6 million Jews. I know people say he anti-Semitic. I don't care. Talking about 6 million Jews. You talking about between the Congo and Namibia and the slave trade? Man, you talking about upwards of 40, I don't know, about 40 million people? Right. And not a word spoke about it. because the Germans are the ones who behind all this stuff. Like, for instance, it's the Germans that was behind World War II. It's the Germans who were the focus of World War I. You see what I'm saying? It just in the context of this, like, I don't understand America because this going even back to Hitler, and this goes the whole thing about technocracy.
Right.
Because if Hitler was so bad, why did y'all bring Hitler over here after World War II and gave him amnesty?
Right.
So listen, for y'all viewers, y'all might not know this, but go do some research because I forget who was the dude that's over Argentina, whoever the prime minister of Argentina, whatever is. He recently came out. I'm talking about like, what, 7 months ago, something like that? Maybe not even 7. It might have been like 5 months ago. But he recently came out and had a press conference and told everybody that Hitler was living there and recently died there.
Right. Right.
It's not no conspiracy
Now
theory.
there's some information on that.
Right. This is a press conference from, he's like, yeah, you know, after the war, United States, and they brought him down to Argentina. Not only him, but a whole host of Nazis, to the point where they had their own communities and all this other stuff, and protected them down there. Mm-hmm. And so, matter of fact, there's these huge communities that's from the descendants of those Nazis that still live down there in Argentina. I want to say it's Argentina, but it's one of the South American countries. So this, and you can go even a step further. Operation Paperclip. Go look it up. Joseph Mengele and all them crazy scientists that was behind Hitler that was doing all the experiments. They brought all them people to America, gave them jobs, put them in. This is another dude besides Mengele, but all the people that's supposed to be in the Nuremberg trials, all these sick and sadistic scientists. They became the minds at NASA. They became your Homeland Security mindsets. Those are the ones who came up with all that stuff. They the ones who and during Operation Paperclip, the United States government brought them Nazis over here and gave them jobs. And this is the reason why, listen, at every element, or every level, you're gonna see German connection with all this stuff. Right. But I'm making it long. But I want to say this. So technocracy is really the brainchild of this thing called transhumanism. Okay. Right? So Yahuwah had kind of dealt me about this back in 2008. He had just made me dive into it. I started reading books on it and stuff like that. But that's the end goal, is for them to be a lure. They, like he said, right. We read it in Psalms 83, they hate Yahuwah. Right? And they hate his people. So the idea is for them to come up with their own system of governance and their own man, because the world was given to a black man, right. Adam. Right? And for him to produce men after his own image and likeness. That's the reason why I believe the scripture talks about the beast having his what? Own image. I believe the image also is connected to the image of jealousy that Yahuwah talk about. Right? Because our people seek that image. They want to become that instead of becoming more like him. But it says, this is what definition it says on AI Overview. Transhumanism is the philosophical and cultural movement advocating for the use of technology to enhance human intellectual, physical, and psychological capabilities, therefore transcending biological limitations and achieving a future beyond the current human condition. It explores certain ideas as uploading minds to computers, genetic engineering, and advanced anti-aging therapies to extend life and diminish suffering. However, the movement faces criticisms concerning the potential threats to humanity. The ethical implications by playing God, the risk of creating a post-human society as a past association with eugenics. So who's behind eugenics? The Germans. Who's behind technocracy? The Germans. Who's behind apartheid? The Germans. Who are the Portuguese that sold us into slavery? The Germans. The Gothic people. Congo is them too. So my bad.
Right, no, that's it. So I just show you we are uncovering the cover up, so we can understand this. But now that's going to lead us and segue us right on into the invasion of AI. right? Not that one. Now, this man is called the godfather of AI. Now, you just heard all the information about that. Of course, you know, you heard all the information about transhumanism, and we're going to get back to that. But this is like segueing right into that. Listen to what this man said. This is the godfather of AI.
Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, Excellencies, dear laureates, ladies and gentlemen. This year, the Nobel Committees in Physics and Chemistry have recognized the dramatic progress being made in a new form of artificial intelligence that uses artificial neural networks to learn how to solve difficult computational problems. This new form of AI excels at modeling human intuition rather than human reasoning, and it will enable us to create highly intelligent and knowledgeable assistants who will increase productivity in almost all industries. If the benefits of the increased productivity can be shared equally, it will be a wonderful advance for all humanity. Unfortunately, the rapid progress in AI comes with many short-term risks. It has already created divisive echo chambers by offering people content that makes them indignant. It is already being used by authoritarian governments for massive surveillance and by cybercriminals for phishing attacks. In the near future, AI may be used to create terrible new viruses and horrendous lethal weapons that decide by themselves who to kill or maim. All of these short-term risks require urgent and forceful attention from governments and international organizations. There is also a longer-term existential threat that will arise when we create digital beings that are more intelligent than ourselves. We have no idea whether we can stay in control, but we now have evidence that if they are created by companies motivated by short-term profits, our safety will not be the top priority. We urgently need research on how to prevent these new beings from wanting to take control. They are no longer science fiction. Thank you.
Man, that's wild. So that show you that, man, when it talks about transhumanism, even with the word, that means taking humanism, humans to another form. Right? The same thing that happened in Genesis chapter 6 when the fallen Malachim came down and mixed up all the orders and things and was going as mixed up all the orders and things and what's going that's exactly what's going on now with what we have with AI. And I believe AI is going to be a gateway and a pathway to unlock certain principalities and spirits to be able to live and walk in control among us. And that's why he was saying, because in my mind I was like, well, how in the world they are creating technology, say if it's a computer or whatever that is, right? You write in a code because the whole earth, everything in the world has a code in it, right? Even our bodies have a code in it. Everything is made up based off of code. And I'm like, well, how in the world is that thing, are we afraid if we're creating it and writing the code in it, in which we can set the limitations on the code on how far it can go, or what it can't then read that. And then they explained in it that it's not that they built it with the same concept as a human mind, where this digital will transfer into a digital being, but this AI, it would have its own mind based on not reasoning but intuition, in which it can analyze information and learn and teach itself what's best. So the goal of it is to create an entity, right, or create a technology that has the capability of taking information, analyzing it, and taking the best expertise from that information and being to implement new research, be able to have cures for cancer, be able to have cures for any disease, or even extending of life, or anything like that, so it can gather all the information on this subject or whatever that field is in the world, analyze it to the best of its ability, and now to become the expert. Now, you see that can happen with any job field, whatever job that you own, whatever industry that you're in. Its goal is to be able to take all the information, analyze it, become the expert in it, and how to unlock and lock it. But what they're saying is that this AI now is making decisions outside of what it was created to do. So now if the AI feels like the best thing would be to exterminate a people, it will do it based on what it feels like. If they take eugenics and feel like, okay, well, there's no reason for these people to be here, then it'll start. It can kill people. It can make its own decision. It was even talking about that some of the creators were starting to be fearful of it, because you know how you turn a machine off and on. Now the AI has put within itself survival mode that you can't turn me off. And it says it got information out there how the AI, they was about to turn it off, or whatever the creator is, I forgot the name of it. And that the AI pulled up some emails on this man about sexual affairs and tried to blackmail the man. Then there's another video, I don't know if we'll get to that talks about how the man was saying, one of the experts was saying that also that AI, it learned how to, right before you can cut it off, it transferred itself to 3 or 4 different locations, so it couldn't be turned off. And that was the same thing that happened if you look at that movie, I think it's Severance, where they had those AIs that would come in and be maids in the house and help. But then now this AI girl, if you go watch the movie, she decided that the child was bringing too much frustration to its owner, so it locked the door and tried to kill the child. It started making decisions on its own, trying to understand what emotions was, and did the same thing by the co-worker. It went over there and killed the co-worker. The same thing, and even when they tried to kill it, it just started transferring itself to different machines and different things. That's why everything is ran off code now, so it can't die. So now if this thing becomes the expert in everything, and everything is ran by a code, you don't think it can unlock deities of the ancient world and give them access to this place?
Right. If it ain't already being used by an ancient fallen one to make themselves worship through
AI.
Through AI. This stuff is dangerous, because how is a machine that you developed able to determine whether you fit to live or die?
Right.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. But I let you know, man, this stuff is so still demonic, man, this stuff, it creates, I believe, creates abilities for these demons and these principalities to be able to have a space to get their ideals to the world, to live into the world through transhumanism, right? And in which we would just readily accept it, because this can even go right what we was talking about a little bit earlier, even going into the mark of the beast, in the sense of allowing people to buy and sell and all of these things. Because all they have to do is this: if this technology is creating this utopia world, right, where there's no more diseases in this world, right? Because every disease now, or every surgery, anything that needs to be done, the machines can come in and do it, right? That there's long life can be extended, no more dying, no more suffering, no more all of that. And say they're pushing this world where there's no allure. Because they saying, why do we need an ancient allure when this has become our allure? right? And they create a world of that. All they got to do is say, well, if you're not going, and all they need is propaganda. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of a world where children don't die no more? Where they don't receive diseases no more? Where they can extend their life? And you standing on the word. You standing against that. And they say, okay, well, you stay in the fallen state of this world. And we're going to create this utopia world in which you will have no access to anything unless you join this world. It ain't even about them putting no chip or nothing in your hand. It's just you agreeing with this is the new way of life in which we need to live. Because now they'll be able to go in your genetics and write different codes in you. Rewrite your code in you. And be telling you, why wouldn't you want your code rewritten so you won't have diseases? And you go to a hospital now, your baby's sick, and they standing you right there like, listen, we can go in this baby and rewrite this disease in which this baby will live. If you let us, through AI, write the code in them. And you stuck right there. What you going to do? You're going to agree with your hand and your forehead and become one with this. It can easily turn just like that.
So, gee, what you saying already exists because that's CRISPR, right? So CRISPR is this old bacteria, this ancient bacteria that they found, and they had CRISPR for 10 years. So CRISPR is this bacteria that they can modify that can unzip DNA and add specific elements. And so when they talking about genetic engineering babies, they're doing that right now, and it's through CRISPR. Now what AI is going to do is, and then like Chief say, so we got quantum computers, and the idea of a quantum computer is shady anyway because it ain't really what we think about computers. It's more so about computation in like a different realm because they got all computers work off binary, 1 and 0. Like Matrix, the numbers trickle down, 1s and 0s. So quantum computers, what they do is similar to some kind of technology that's kind of similar to a hadron collider in that they're like smashing atoms and they're creating this reality where they got a third digit. A third digit is what they call a qubit of all things. They call it a qubit. So a qubit is something that's neither a 0 nor a 1. Because so like for instance, if you see a true quantum computer, a quantum computer is the size of Walmart. One quantum computer. The whole facility is about one chamber where they slowing down. I know whatever this material is, it takes a massive amount of water. I mean, so much water, it'll take over the whole water source of maybe a small nation. Take over all they water source to be able to run it, and they have to cool it down to like certain so they can slow down these particles when they collide to be able to try to measure this phenomenon that takes place in what they call superposition when stuff is between realms. So like it's like matter when it's phasing, right? Matter shifting between one realm and the next, and then they have this thing which they call a qubit, which makes them be able to make these calculations at rates that they would never be able to do in real life. So your most powerful computer that you can buy, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 computer, couldn't even compute what a quantum computer could do in a millisecond. And so, like you said, everything has a code. So now, and they saying is like some of these, I don't know if it's one of these popular scientists said that they giving it benchmark tests like these AIs. So they'll give there are equations that they haven't been able to solve. These scientists, they've been given these AIs equations that then took them 50 years, 100 years, 200 years to solve, and these new quantum computers are solving it in 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And so again, what's going to happen when it finds out the code? Because that's all DNA is a code. That's all molecules are as a code. Everything is a code. When it's like, well, we can start shifting. We can create compounds for this. Like for instance, right? They claim they already got the cure for aging, or the idea of it, because they say you got two chromosomal pairs. They look like X's, right? So on a capsule of those chromosomes or these capsules that keeps chromosomes together, and they say as you age, those caps deteriorate. And so scientists already say that they believe that aging is linked to the caps that's on your chromosomal pairs. So if they can find the right compound to reverse the deterioration of those the caps on them chromosomes, essentially theoretically you can reverse aging. Right? Playing all. So this is stuff they right in the middle of. And so when you see these big jumps, and I'll put this on here real fast, 'cause I know we probably have to wrap it up in a second. But it says path to singularity. So this is what they're talking about, right? This, by the way, this timeline says 2023, 2026, 2030, 2035, 2040, 2045 to my 5-year spans. This already been blown up. Like when Chief told you about, now the AI is blackmailing people and trying to save itself. Like they had one new AI model. They tried to turn off the system, and it already had created its own self on some other different place to back up, and it jumped onto some other system to save itself. So that means that it's already autonomous, and it feels like it has to say. It feels like it's alive. Right. That it has to save itself from being turned off. So right here it says ChatGPT-4 and other gen models. Right, that's the first phase. They're allegedly that's in the phase in right now, because it says 2023. We know it's 2025. The next year is 2026, and they believe in 2026. They're going to have AGI, which is artificial. So you got AI is just generative AI. Like each AI is like a model made to create and do a specific task, right? You might have a video AI. You might have a chat bot that tells you how to do specific things, but it can't do all things. Like there's certain chat bots that can't like go on your computer and do like, do tasks for you, but they can give you information. So, matter of fact, they already in ChatGPT 5 right now. This is 4. So now they got what they call AI agents. So AI agents are literally AIs that run your computer for you. Your computer, not specific programs. So like, for instance, this thing, Haluo Minimax got this AI that you just give it access to your computer, and it can go into specific programs. Like this is a program called Blender where you can make 3D models. You can connect Blender. You can tell Haludo model, hey, I need you to go into Blender and make this for me. That mother will open up Blender, go inside of it, and start creating stuff for you. Not its own entity, like it's this website where you just do this one thing. So that's what AGI is general intelligence, artificial general intelligence, which sounds like not a big deal. Oh, general intelligence. No, it's AGI is what we've all been seeing in movies growing up. AGI is essentially like iRobot, right? Because artificial general intelligence don't mean general like they kind of got intelligence. What it means is over every concept of thinking or application, generally in every concept, it surpasses a human. Yeah. Oh, okay. You see what I'm saying? So it says AGI action. AGI surpasses previous technologies, creates robots for physical activities, and replace most blue-collar jobs. They're saying that's in 2020, between 26 and 2030. AGI has already existed because artificial intelligence has become self-aware. And then some of the people that's behind it have said that recently, that they feel like they already reached AGI. So they are 5 to 10 years ahead of schedule already. So let's move this up. So right now, we really where they should be in 2023. AGI. The next step is ASI, which is artificial superintelligence. Right? So what they got listed right here is that ASI takes shape, Nobel Prize level discoveries by AGI in physics and different things that cross over. The superintelligence researchers can't comprehend AGI anymore. Can't comprehend it. Now they start to build faith that ASI has its best interest in humanity. And it says technological singularity occurs. So we already in the AGI phase. The next part is artificial superintelligence, which people are calling the AI God. Elon been talking about that this for the last 2 months. That the AI God is here or is about to be here, right? So SI supremacy, cellular aging processes, reverse quantum computers with trillions of qubits. I'm talking about qubits. Processing or development turns and accelerate ASI development. ASI automates all forms of human decision making. ASI automates all form of decision making, which already is starting to happen through ChatGPT. They done studies and they saying that ChatGPT actually retards part of your brain. There's a part of your brain that is from cognitive function. They studying right now certain like college students and stuff like that, and that part of their brain is like atrophy because of the context of like having to use that part of their brain. So as ASI, as artificial intelligence becomes smarter, the human brain becomes dumber, and basic cognitive functions that we have decrease, like writing.
It's already happened though.
Right.
Because you remember back in the day, because we in Young Out was talking about this earlier. And I was telling them how we used to write down phone numbers.
Right.
And all we had to do was call that number 1 or 2 times, and we got that thing locked in. Ever since they gave us a cell phone.
Right.
The last number I remember of my parents was their home phone. Now everybody does cell phone. Right. I can recognize it if it comes, right, but it ain't like it used to be, because I used to could call your number. Right. Mm-hmm. About 3 times, and I can see you 10 years later. What's so-and-so number? Bam, bam, bam. But now it's like, oh, let me look it up. And how many times I done call you, Chief?
Right.
I don't know your number though.
Right.
And I see your number every time I come up. Your number comes up.
Right.
But I do not remember it because they done made that part of my mind lazy.
Because they know they've done studies. There's a part of your brain that's attached. Memory is attached to physical connectivity. So by you having to write it down, there's a certain part of your brain that you using that you don't use when you text. So for real. So like that's the reason why a lot of these students is losing cognitive function. So as AI goes to God mode, humanity becomes dumber and dumber, which creates more control and more dependency. So it says, again, ASI automates all forms of human decision making. Human education and labor becomes past. Right? Done. That's over with. Will of ASI start to become the will of most humans. Wow. ASI self-improvement capability begins to prevent it and becoming critically damaged or being turned off. That's what it did already. So that's y'all see we in this path already. So after that, it's about 2040, 2055, 2050. So remember now, we 10 years, you can say 5 to 10 years ahead. So really we talking about 2030, 2040 or something, really, by 2050. But, or it might be even faster, because remember now, this data is doubling and quadrupling and you know, every single day. Right. So, again, they call it the age of abundance at that point. Material and energy abundance, because ASI is giving it to you. ASI automates world's manufacturing and balance and supply and demand. Sickness and poverty and hunger, even death, becomes problems of the past. Concept of money becomes almost obsolete. Almost everything becomes free. Age of abundance. Why? Because now we got the brain-computer interface. Here come the transhumanism part of it. ASI creates a self-assembling brain. The interface, he called it the BCI. Humans adopt and join ASI hive. Wow. Means it becomes one. Listen, this is all the stuff that Yahuwah said about us. Right. Every last element of it. The age of abundance, that's the kingdom. Right. Material, energy, and abundance. ASI automates the world. It says what? It says the strangers should be your plowman and your dry dresser. Sickness and poverty and hunger, even death, become things. There'll be no more. It's gonna wipe what tears away from our eyes. Concept of money become obsolete and everything become almost free. This is the kingdom. That's the kingdom. This is their version of the kingdom. Right. And it says,
with them being a lure.
Right. He'll be their Lord, and they being what? His people. Man, where do you think ASI is based off of? What do you think AI is based off of? The mind of a white man. The construct of AI is based off the idea. I remember one time when this first started hitting, I seen this article from Vice, and they were saying, "Is AI racist?" And they're talking about all the different things that decision making that AI would make, because AI is based off the algorithms of the white mind.
Right.
So, and that's the reason why Africa is the farthest behind. Africa don't got a dog in the fight when it comes to AI. AI is developed by Chinese and white people, and all they doing, only AI development that's happening in AI in Africa is data mining. Data mining is when they have all these people sit down and in these big facilities, and then they just input data to feed the AI. So anyway, humans adopt AI, which is going back to slavery. So in the context of even AI, they're the slaves. Human consciousness is shared. So why? Because he's become their Lord, and they become one. Right? It's shared and now can spread across multiple biological containers. Humans' primary source of intelligence becomes ASI. Human symbiosis with ASI, they become one. It's the oneness, the kindness. This is all this is one big path to the prescribed prophecy that Yahuwah has. Right. And that's why he's talking about the mark of the beast, the image of the beast. He has something after his own image and likeness. It's the same pattern as Adam. Are you going to sign off on it? Are you going to become one with it? Are you going to trust in it? Is it going to bring you salvation?
Hey, man. Hey, but we wanted to put y'all in the understanding of the no man. This is our oppressor's goal, is to do what the tabernacles of Esau always wanted to do: make sure that their kingdom reigns forever. Right. Their goal is to make sure that we never get back to the place of our kingdom and reigning so much that they got doggone space. What is it? Space force. To make sure Yahushua can't come. They want to catch him early when he coming to try to destroy. These folks crazy, man. But it's real. Like you got to understand. Like, we have to prepare for prophetic end time events. We have to understand that, man. They're looking at transhumanism, man, but we looking to be changed in Yahuwah, take on our ruachal bodies and perspectives, and that we may be able to reign in the kingdom. But everything that they speaking of right there is ours. Long as we want with Yahushua Mashiach when he return, we gonna have rights to everything. We gonna live forever. There'll be no more sickness, disease, no more none of that. All of the things that it's saying right there that it's trying to create, man, that's our promise of our salvation. So we want you to be aware of what's going on. Like Yahushua said, that be careful that you be not deceived. Be careful, because many gonna come saying they have the pathway to salvation, and their pathway is through AI. We ain't saying that you can't use AI, looking up some, reading a book, researching some, or if you into creating films, and I guess that's practical stuff to be able to get better. And some of the job aspects, we understand that. But we want to let you know our job is so you don't just keep walking down that yellow brick road and know it's a man behind the curtain. Right. That's all we try to show. We don't want you to be Dorothy clicking your heels. Huh? I want you to let you know, man, our focus need to be Yahushua. Zephaniah tell us to gather together. All of you that are not desired of the nations, then that Yahuwah is going to hide us in that time and keep us and develop us. So our mindset has to be there. Has to be it's for Yahushua we live, and for Yahushua we'll die. Blessed be the name of Yahushua. Hallelujah. I do want to say this, that if you haven't had an opportunity to check out our documentary called Reclaiming the Throne, it's on all social media outlets and sites. You can see it on Tubi. You can see it on YouTube. You can see it on Apple TV. It's a 3-part series. We want you to check out. What's the if you want to talk about any more information concerning that, but you can go on any of those, and you talking about mind blowing information for the diaspora, right? That would change your life to let you understand the world that we live in, and knowing who you are as a people with, and undeniable, unrefutable information that you be able to stand on and believe it.
Yeah, that's reclaiming the throne is one of the most sourced and documented documentaries concerning the identity of the diaspora that exists. It's award-winning, and it's won best documentary twice. It's won best director, best I forget it's another category, but I think off the top of my head, but it will walk you through the 3-part series of the complete truth about the origin of the diaspora of black, so-called black man and black woman, and it even will tell you the how it was birthed, right? What the truth of the slave trade, how it came to be, who the Negro is, and that's that's an important thing. That term Negro has been thrown around a lot in history, and people have no idea what that term really meant. And these things that's spoken in this documentary is why they have the path to singularity, because the path to singularity, because the idea is to destroy the regathering of the people of the Most High. And I don't care if wherever walk of life you are, this is affecting you.
Right.
If you white, you black, you Mexican, you whatever, this context of who them people are is going to affect you. You have to know who the people of the scriptures are to understand the scriptures. If not, you might be on the receiving end of the judgment, right? So, not in the context of a threat, it's just that you got to know who the enemy is.
That's it.
Right? You got to know what a safe place is to be there.
That's right.
So, so in the context of reclaiming the throne, a lot of people, it was much said, we talked about earlier, Kyrie, and how they try to dog Kyrie out about the movie that he watched. Well, at the beginning of that movie is an advertisement for reclaiming the throne.
Right.
So tell Kyrie to watch Reclaiming the Throne. But yeah, it's award-winning. It's I had people come and talk to me from professors, college professors, and was raving about it. So it's as sourced enough for your people in higher education. It's as simple enough for a child to get it.
Hallelujah.
So praise Yahushua.
And one last thing, just for prophetic end time events, we're just gonna say, look, any little thing that Yahuwah told us to just speak as a warning and be careful on. I was in prayer not too long ago, and I just heard it strong today. I ain't got no context behind it, but this is just letting you know, to the Israelites that's in Israel, Yahuwah spoke to me in prayer, and he said, tell the Israelites to leave, or at least have an exit plan. I ain't got all the answers. I don't know but something major is going to take place there. Something is going to happen, and this is kind of like a warning for you to, if you're not finna leave, when you think you need to leave, have some type of escape plan where you can get somewhere with that. So I heard that just as loud and clear. And also those that are even in Texas, seeing like Texas on fire. Like things in Texas, just fire hitting Texas. He had told me in chief about the flood that was going to hit the east and the flood that hit Texas recently. So just have a plan and prepare. Y'all got anything?
Yeah, I'm chief witness to the stuff about Israel. Yahuwah showed me. They said Israel is done. Now again, like I'm not chief. I don't got no answers. I can't tell you how stuff is going to happen. But it's on this last leg, and the judgment concerning it is coming. there's some kind of revolt that's gonna come against Netanyahu and then all the things they're doing, which and right now it's gonna be a place of great hostility and chaos and turnover. So again, like Chief Witness Yahuwah told me the same thing. He gave him the details about specifically what's going on about Israelites in that area. He just told me about the chaos that's coming. So yeah, it's just witnessing to that.
We ain't trying to tell you what to do. We just telling what we heard. Hallelujah. But we love y'all. Hope this ministers to you. More videos that are coming. Next video that we're going to talk about, it'll be on prophetic things that's happening in the land with Yellowstone and things that are happening on the land prophetically. And then we'll get into some technology that they have created that can disrupt weather patterns and cause natural disasters and stuff. Man, this system is wicked, man. It's wicked. So love y'all. Stay tuned, and we'll say
Shalom everybody in the house, and shalom everybody that ain't on yet, and that's online.
Rebirth of a nation, Hebrew kingdom building.